thinking back to those years, like where did the business come from for you? Like was it, the classic, the people that you knew were supporting you? Was there other stuff that you were doing? Like, tell me about that.
Sure. I, in high school, was student council president, and I had a ton of contacts out of high school. And when I got into real estate, I was advised that you should contact everybody you know. So that's what I did. I contacted everybody I knew. And it was like, hi, I've gotten into real estate. And I learned the who do, not do you know anybody that's thinking of buying or selling? Because they say no. I learned the who do you know that's thinking of buying or selling?
Love that.
And they go, Anybody you work with? No. Anybody in your family? No. Anybody that you socialize with? Oh yeah.
Place is that for you? Like how do you keep in touch with the people in your network? It must be a massive network at this point.
It's big enough, but the only contact I make with my database, and it keeps on working, is a good old fridge magnet calendar.
I love it. I love it. The majority of your career been resale. Did you do any like developer representation other than that?
Almost none. I do not enjoy new construction. I steer away from it. I sell about one new house to a buyer who says, I want to buy a new house. A year.
Okay, I'm super excited today because we get the chance to chat with one of my favorite people in the real estate business, a guy named Jim Murphy. Jim is going to describe how he's been in the business since 1980. That's right, 45 plus years he's been in the business, and he's done everything you can do in the brokerage world over that time. He's been a salesperson, he's been a trainer, he at one point had his own training business, he's been a manager of an office, and so we're really excited to share with Jim and have Jim share with us his expertise on the real estate market, how it's evolved over the years, and what things have stayed the same. Jim's got about as down-to-earth an approach as you can imagine in the business. He's got some very key fundamentals in terms of customer service that he's going to talk about, and of course we're going to play a game of pool and see if I can finally get a victory here after the last few losses I've taken. So I really appreciate Jim coming in, and we have a great conversation queued up for you, and excited to learn from Jim Murphy. Jim, thanks for coming, buddy. I appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Yeah. So let's get started way back at the beginning. Tell me about, we were just talking about how long you've been licensed, and so maybe give me the...
September 1980 is when I decided to get into real estate.
Yeah, cool.
And this makes it 45 years.
That's amazing, my friend,
Sales has been about 35 of it.
So walk me through the other stuff. What other stuff were you doing?
So 80 to 82 I sold. With Montreal Trust Real Estate.
Wow.
Bayers Road Mall.
Yeah.
And in 83, they asked me to manage in their Dartmouth Penhorn Mall office.
Okay.
I managed there until 86.
Yes.
And then I started my own training business.
Okay.
Professional Real Estate Training Services Limited.
Yeah.
And I was mainly doing licensing courses.
Okay.
Because at that time you could study, you could buy the book and study.
Okay.
I had been training my recruits as a manager with licensing courses, and I thought, there's a market here.
Yeah.
And there was.
Yeah.
So I started that company and did nothing but training till 1992.
Okay.
And at that point I thought, I'm going to return to sales.
Yep.
A year after being in sales, I was asked to manage the office.
Okay, yeah.
So at a year after that, because of the bad early 90s real estate market, that company shut down. I went back into training again.
Okay.
Nothing but training from 93 to 98.
Okay, so we've done a couple of circles here around the business.
Yeah, so, but I'm not doing another cycle.
No, you've been in sales for quite some time now.
Sales since 98, so
okay.
27 years.
Yeah, that's great, yeah. And what about what compelled you to go into the real estate industry, I guess, way back then? Do you have a story around that?
Bought our first house in 1980.
Okay.
The service was horrible.
Okay.
The real estate agent did nothing for us.
Okay.
We didn't even know about closing costs.
Oh, geez.
Had to borrow money from my dad for deed transfer tax, I think it was.
Yeah.
A good friend of mine's dad was managing Montreal Trust Real Estate at the time.
Okay.
And I said to him, I want to get into this business because I can do better than that.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
So I did.
Isn't that funny? I would say that, I've had experience obviously managing as well.
Yep.
And oftentimes that's the story. There's two stories that I've heard a lot of. I had such a great agent that they inspired me that this is what I want to do, or I had such a bad experience that I thought if this person can survive in this business, I can certainly thrive, right?
That was mine.
Yeah, that was yours. So very good. Yeah, very good.
And I got to top agent in Atlantic, Canada for Montreal Trust in my second year.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, and MLS top 30 in my second year.
So tell me about that, because that was my next question is, did you get off to like a fast start? Did you have a sales background? Like, did you tell me about kind of what initially compelled success?
Sure. Did I have a sales background? Sure. I was top salesman of the year in junior achievement in grade 12 in our little company. Got the little plaque still.
Love that.
Prior to real estate, I was managing a lighting store.
Okay.
So it was retail sales.
Okay.
So that's sales.
Yep, absolutely.
While in retail sales, that was lovely. I found retail a ball.
Yes.
But not enough money. And again, from after buying a house, seeing the kind of service we didn't get, realizing I think I could do better. Yeah. So how was the start? It was a classic start. 3 months with no income. Yep. And then finally I had a closing in December of 80. So I started in September, had a closing in December. Okay. Interesting to note, each time I got back into sales, even though I was experienced, I had a 3-month wait before my first paycheck.
Is that right?
3 times.
Yeah. Interesting. So I guess there's really no way around that early part of the curve, right? So,
it wasn't for me. And anytime I meet a new person in the office here and wish them well, I say, just so you know, I've started 3 times in sales, and it took 3 months to have a paycheck. So
amazing.
I hope you believed that when they told you that.
100%. Yeah. I think we'd probably even caution people more about 6 months at this point, just to leave it leave it on the careful side.
Yeah, so, I bet. So that was my experience, and then 1981 was wonderful. Yeah. And 1982 was amazing.
That's awesome.
So I think I was quite fortunate. I'll use that word to have such a quick jump to the top.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you some questions now that might be a little hard to, because you're talking about a long arc here, 45-year career, right? You sold during a period where, as we've often heard, mortgage rates at 18%, and all these sort of calamities out there and that could befall the industry. So, tell me what it was like to sell in that kind of environment. How did you find it?
Start with this. I didn't know it was a bad time to be in real estate. I didn't know that interest rates were too high and who would ever buy a house. Yeah. So I just went along doing my job, ignoring the agents that were going, oh my God, what are we going to do here? The interest rates are so high. Buyers would figure out what they could afford. They locked in the term saying, well, at least I know what my payment is, 18, 19, 20%. Yep. And I said, well, lucky me, I have a 13% interest rate on my mortgage for 5 years. Yeah. Oh, well, that's not too far off. So off I went. And I think I took on business and kept moving people forward in a way that other agents who had experience were not willing to do or unable to do. I don't know. I just didn't know better.
It's amazing. Sometimes that context becomes a hindrance to us, right? You've lived in a world where interest rates are at 2%, and now all of a sudden they're at 5%. In the world of today, and you just wake up every morning thinking, well, nobody's ever going to want to buy a house in this environment. But that's obviously not the case.
How can I sell a house in this environment?
Yeah.
And we had mortgage tables back then, so no cell phones and no computers, right? Early 80s? Yeah. So mortgage tables started at 8% and went up to 20%. Yes. So you could use those. But from what? 2000 onward, you couldn't use those tables.
Because they were too high. That's wild. And thinking back to those years, like where did the business come from for you? Like was it, the classic, the people that you knew were supporting you? Was there other stuff that you were doing? Like tell me about that.
Sure. I, in high school, was student council president, and I had a ton of contacts out of high school. And when I got into real estate, I was advised that you should contact everybody you know. So that's what I did. I contacted everybody I knew. And it was like, hi, I've gotten into real estate. And I learned the who do, not do you know anybody that's thinking of buying or selling? Because they say no. I learned the who do you know that's thinking of buying or selling?
Love that.
And they go, anybody you work with? No. Anybody in your family? No. Anybody that you socialize with? Oh yeah, friend of mine.
Amazing.
Off it went. My first sale was a grade 12 student. Friend of mine, probably, I think he was in the insurance business by then. Okay. A couple of years later. I graduated in 74. He walked in, and I said, how you doing, Steve? And he said, good. And he said, I said, I'm in real estate. He said, I'm thinking of buying a house. let's do it.
Let's do it.
I sold my first house was to a student,
That's
former
amazing.
student in high school.
That's amazing. I love it. Yeah, that's
school
great.
buddy.
Yeah, that's cool.
And again, it just blossomed from there. A couple other neat things. Back then we had MLS catalogs.
Yeah.
In the morning, a courier would arrive with a sandwich bag full of MLS listings, which
Yes.
were on a 4x6 sheet of paper.
Okay, yeah.
And they were punched, and you put them in a binder.
Yeah.
And I had the best MLS books.
Yeah.
They were perfect.
Yeah.
All by area, all by price range, and agents would borrow my MLS books. But I was that organized and that up on the market, what was for sale, what had sold, it made a big difference.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
could do the job. I remember a lawyer, Alan Crow, who's now deceased.
Yeah.
He sent me some business once, a couple that were moving here. He's in the military, wanted to buy something in Eastern Passage, was just struggling. I said, well, let's see what's in my MLS book. Hey, there's a few, let's go look at them. They bought within 2 days.
Amazing.
And I remember thinking back, that worked.
Yep.
So getting in touch with everybody I know, keeping in touch with people I knew, and having a real handle on the market
Yeah. Yeah.
made a big difference.
Well, and obviously, though, just the fact that you were taking the time to kind of organize that data, like
Yep.
that's customer service that you were providing as well. So you did a really good job for people, obviously, as they were coming in the door as well. So, okay, question number 2. That again, it's hard to kind of summarize, but what, if you could say, was the biggest change that you dealt with over the years? Not maybe to your career, but like when you think about the industry in 1982 versus the industry in 2022 or 25, like what's the biggest shift or the thing that maybe you feel has impacted the industry the most?
Oh, wow. I can't say I've ever thought of that.
Yeah. There's the specter of the internet was such a big, scary thing for so many people, right? And so
The consumer knows and has access to way more information than we could provide.
fair enough. Yeah.
I mean, before the PVSD started to publish sale prices, we were the only source of sale prices because deed transfer tax affidavits were confidential.
Right.
So that's one big difference. That's the only thing that really comes to my mind.
Yeah.
Because other than that, they still need us to do the job.
Yeah.
They still need us to organize the buying and selling process.
Absolutely.
Even though they got all the information in the world.
Absolutely.
I have buyers and sellers all the time saying, "Man, I see such and such just sold." I said, "Oh, I didn't check the stats today, so I didn't see that."
Yeah.
And I don't. It doesn't embarrass me or bother me just to know that they were checking today and I wasn't.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. That's cool.
But
So-
that would be it, I think.
So tell me about today. Like, what about your business today? Like, you had this long arc of a career. You've been, in sort of a leadership position. You've been back in sales, like you said, for 27 years now. Where does the business come from today? Is it repeat referral, all of it basically, or is
90% of it's repeat referral. My son Paul, who is way into social media, a couple of years ago said, "Dad, what's the average age of your clients?" And I said, "Probably 40 to 80."
Yeah.
He said, "Oh, that's why you don't need or don't use social media."
Yeah.
Right. And I don't.
Yeah, we were joking about that before we started talking here, right?
And the crowd that is below that, the 40 age, uses it, needs it, and probably wonders why I don't.
And right.
And probably is inclined to work with people that.
So what replaces that for you? Like, how do you keep in touch with the people in your network? It must be a massive network at this point.
It's big enough, but the only contact I make with my database, and it keeps on working, is the good old fridge magnet calendar.
I love it. I love it. Yeah.
I hand address the envelopes.
Classic. I love it.
And off they go.
Yeah.
And I visit clients or see them when they call and say, "Hey, let's do business," and there's my calendar on the fridge.
Yeah, amazing.
So it isn't perfect.
Yeah.
Because over the years, I see a listing come up. I have a very good head for addresses.
Yes.
I'll see an address of something listed, and they go, "Oh no," and I look it up and that's people I sold that house to.
Yeah.
So it's not perfect.
Yep.
However, I deal with a sphere of influence that is clients and friends and relatives, and it keeps the conveyor belt going.
That's great, yeah. And so let's say you go through a period where things are slower for you. What do you do? What do you wake up and do in the morning to kind of jolt yourself out of that, I guess?
Yep.
Like,
I still use daytimers. And I will go back through the past month or two sometimes and see who I was in touch with and make sure I haven't forgotten to follow up. It's actually just a mechanical routine thing that I do.
Yeah.
And Honestly, every time I do that, I go, oh, right, I was working with them, they decided to put things on the back burner. Let me check. So all I really do is keep checking my records to see, am I up to date? I do a little table of listings I've got, buyers I've got, potential listing, potential buyers. I put a probability of when they're going to buy and the probability they'll buy or sell.
Interesting.
And then I keep working at that.
Yeah. We talked about how you've now just sort of crested the 1,000 sale mark here at this point in your career, which is, again, incredible, right?
Yeah, I think it's pretty good.
I've
seen a couple agents throw that on their billboards and ads and thinking, oh, okay.
Maybe that's it. Yeah, well, honestly,
I've done it too.
It's not just longevity, but it's consistency as well, right? And in fact, when I talk about kind of consistent performance, you're one of the people I often reference because you've been doing it for a long time, and you just seem to hit the mark every year, right? So let's talk about a couple other things. I don't know you to have ever had sort of an assistant working for you. Was that a conscious decision, or it just you've just sort of said, listen, this is not. Maybe you did have one, I don't know.
Well, in the 80s,
yes,
because I got so busy that instead of using my MLS books and sorting them, I just stack everything.
Okay.
So my desk was a stack of MLS listing sheets, 4x6.
Yeah.
And what's new in the listings was at the top of the pile.
Okay.
And they were already sorted by area. So what's new in Colby Village, there. But it was hurting me. I knew it wasn't. That was a strength I had, and I was losing that. So I hired a gal, and all she did was keep my MLS listings organized.
Is that right?
So there was my assistant.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And is it sort of a conscious decision that you make to not have someone there, like that you're kind of everything, chief cook and bottle washer all together? So,
It's interesting. Julie, my wife, is on social media, so she'll say, "Hey, so and so's got something posted here." I say, "Oh, thanks." It actually helps me stay tuned into some things.
Sure.
So we'll say she's my assistant.
Yeah. Okay. That's great.
But I handle everything. Yes, and I do because my volume's the size that I can.
Yes. Right. Exactly.
Could my volume be more? Well, probably. Would I need an assistant? Well, probably.
Right.
Don't want to do it.
Don't want to do it. Exactly. Yeah. And same thing with team, I guess. Teams has of course become such a big thing in the industry these days, right? And you look around here and. There's just dozens of teams that surround, and I think it's probably a conscious decision you've made in that respect as well. So,
I'll do a little confession, if I want to call it that, about teams. I am not impressed personally with teams.
Yep.
I answer my phone when it rings.
Yep.
Except now.
Yeah. Thank you.
And I answer emails. I've had people say, "Oh my God, you got back to me so fast."
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
And I've learned that a call is they want to talk to you right away.
Yeah.
A text, they want an answer within minutes.
Yep.
An email, maybe that day.
Yep. Yep.
So it depends how they contact me. That's how I contact them and determine when to contact them.
Yep. Yep.
But where was I going with this?
Teams. We were talking teams. Yeah.
I've always thought that when there's a team with a person and 5 people below them, someone in there would answer the phone when you call.
Yeah.
No, get voicemail.
Interesting.
So, my wife and I dealt with a team member when her mom sold her place, and it was not a good experience.
Okay.
The left hand didn't know what the right hand was doing. So, my conclusion is teams are relatively not inefficient, could do things much better, and I certainly don't think I need to be part of a team or want to form a team.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, and it's...
It wouldn't, if the way teams work is nobody answers the phone, somebody answers the voicemail or text or whatever when they get to it, no, not for me.
You. Yeah. It is interesting, and we've talked about this myself and other people in the business, is how in a lot of ways it's like professional sports, that the teams often form because there's like a very sort of superstar player, right? And then all of a sudden they move into the coaching role or the team manager role. And those two don't translate. Right. Wayne Gretzky's not the greatest coach that ever lived. You know what I mean? Michael Jordan was a terrible owner of a basketball franchise, right? And so, it doesn't necessarily translate there. And I think that maybe is, part of the cause of what you're describing there, is that being a superstar in the sales world doesn't necessarily translate into, great leadership skills either. So
I guess not. But no assistant, no team. I get along just fine with myself.
Yeah. What do you like about the business the most, I guess? Tell me about that.
I've always had an attitude that the work you're doing is helping people.
Yeah.
Buyers need us, sellers need us.
Yeah.
and we're helping them.
Okay.
So I find that very enjoyable, very satisfying.
Yeah.
That when the job is done,
Yeah.
and they give me a bottle of wine.
Yeah. Amazing.
By the way, I don't buy client gifts.
Yes. Okay.
No.
Yeah.
And I did buy one this past year for one client.
Okay. Yeah. That's
Yeah,
interesting.
and none probably last year or the year, 5 years before.
Interesting. Yeah,
But
yeah,
I do get a gift from them.
That's amazing. Yeah. Well, that's a testament to the service that you're providing.
I
for
think
them,
so.
for sure.
So if I feel I'm helping them and in the end they're just thrilled and say thank you,
Yep.
and whether they give me something or not,
Yeah.
I know I've satisfied a need and provided help and service.
Love it. Yeah, I love that. That's great. Yeah. Is there anything that you think uniquely sets you apart from other people in the business? Like you've talked about responsiveness, you've talked about I guess attention to detail with respect to inventory on the market, things like that.
Yeah.
Like anything else that you think is kind of like uniquely Jim?
Responding quickly, clearly, is something people aren't used to.
Yeah.
So that's one of my highlights.
Yep.
And when we have visitors and friends over and the phone rings, I say, just a sec. I don't do a ton of business with my visitors there,
Right.
but they know I answer my phone.
Yep.
And I say, yeah, I always answer my phone. It's just what I do.
Yeah, that's
Well,
amazing.
you don't have to. I said, no, I don't have to, but it's what I do.
The thing with that is that the bar there is not a high bar to jump over. You know what I mean? But it's amazing how that is such a
Well, hasn't
differentiator.
Royal LePage before done a test to send out an email and see how quickly
Yeah.
the responses come
Oh
back?
yeah, absolutely, and the range is massive. You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
everything from 30 seconds to
Never.
3.5 weeks. Maybe never. You're right. Yeah, maybe not ever. Right. So yeah. It's funny.
So that's the thing. I think the other thing that sets me apart is I really hold hands.
Yes.
The buyers and sellers. I make up a to-do list, a checklist, a schedule of events that I originally did in the 80s to help me stay on track. And somebody once said, one of my buyers said, "Can I have one of those?" I said, "Oh yeah, I suppose you could use it too." We had a lawyer in our sales meeting a few weeks ago saying her buyers. She has buyers that come in and say, "What do I do for giving a deposit? What's a pre-closing walkthrough?"
Yeah.
I was horrified to think the level of service out there is that low that a buyer going through this big transaction isn't even handheld. It also bothers me also that buyers show up at a real estate office, I won't name names, and say, "I have a deposit." Where is this the right place? Why isn't the agent getting the deposit and taking it to the real estate office? So I do that, and I hold hands and I make to-do lists and I walk them through everything and I say, "Don't forget 2 weeks before to call Nova Scotia Power, Halifax Water, Eastward Energy," and they love it. So
absolutely.
that sets me apart.
I love that.
I think.
Let's go back to the days of training and managing an office. Like maybe you have a message that you were giving people that was something, but like if you get someone who's brand new in the business, I know you're telling them, "Hey, listen, save your pennies because it's going to be a while before you get a check." But like starting from the basics, what's the first thing you tell them to do? Tell me.
You're gonna love this.
I probably will.
We had maps, MLS maps, and when they folded out, they were huge maps, and all the areas were done, MLS area 4, 5, whatever, and the MLS catalogs, which we got every week, I think, or two. I'd take a new agent and I'd say, "Here's a map, here's an MLS book, you get in your car, and you fill it with gas, and you start in Eastern Passage, and you drive all around with radius till you end up in Sambro. And you start to learn the market and keep tuning the market, and you learn the name of subdivisions." I said, if you're doing an open house and someone comes into you and says, "Lovely house," and you as an agent say, "Where do you presently live?" And they say, "I live in Ridgevale." And you say, "Oh, where's that?" You've just lost them.
100%.
Not that everybody knows every subdivision. However, if that was what I would, your question was, what would I advise them? The answer was, get to know your territory and the market, and then stay tuned into that. That will set you apart.
It's amazing how so much of what the sales business is requires confidence on the part of the agent as well. And that to me was always a no-brainer in terms of developing my confidence. I mean, I was new to the region when I first got into sales here, right? And I kind of just drifted towards that. Now I like driving around looking at houses anyway. Like that's a fun Friday afternoon activity for me. But until I was embarrassed to say, "Ooh, I don't know what you're talking about when you're talking about Woodlawn or Birdland or any of these other subdivisions." So I would make it a point to get to know those areas, and my confidence was growing. And so I think it's important that you're developing that confidence as a new person too. It's really, I think that's great advice. So,
well, a simple example. I had a project of 11 houses in West Bedford, the Chicory Lane project. And at one of the I did open houses every Saturday, Sunday. Horrifying. But anyway, one couple came in and they said, we live down on Rum Runners Lane. I said, oh yeah, Rum Runners Lane off the Peggy's Cove Road.
Yeah.
And they're going, oh my God, do you know where that is?
Yeah.
And you know what? I listed that house. I sold them another house.
Yep.
They sold that house.
Amazing.
And on it goes.
Yeah, amazing.
Because I knew where that street was.
Where it was. Yeah,
and in the 90s, we still didn't have Google Maps or
Yeah.
much in the line of maps online.
Yeah. Yes.
So I printed off paper maps and stuck them together, and I made my own map of the St. Margaret's Bay area.
Yes. Yeah.
And I went into all the side roads,
Interesting.
and I knew where Redmond's Road was, and Paul's Point Road was, and
Yeah.
Cranberry was, and you name it, I knew where it was.
Yep.
And again, the Rum Runners Lane people,
Yep.
when they came in and said they lived on Rum Runners Lane, and I
Yep.
knew where it was,
Love it.
I went, holy shoot.
That's crazy. I love it. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
amazing. So, you mentioned just doing some of the new construction stuff. That was actually going to be my next question. Is the majority of your career been resale? Did you do any like developer representation other than that?
Almost none. I do not enjoy new construction.
Okay.
I steer
Yeah.
away from it.
Okay.
I
Yep.
sell about one new house to a buyer who says, I want to buy a new house
Yes.
a year.
Yeah. Okay.
But
Yeah.
not a fan of new construction.
What took you down the path with Chicory Lane then? You had a client who was interested? Yeah.
One of the Clayton Development's principals
Yeah.
was a good friend of my son's.
Okay, excellent. Yeah.
And they thought, Jim might be good to handle these. And I
Yeah.
now think back to why. I think they picked me because of my age and their perceived age of the buyers for these units,
Right.
and
Yeah.
they were correct.
Yeah, is that right?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
great.
they were correct.
Yeah, and so that worked out.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because it wasn't a huge development, I know, but I think if I remember correctly, the idea behind that was one level living, kind of like
Yeah.
people who are downsizing into retirement, perhaps.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Nice homes and on a little private lane, and
Yeah.
So there was my biggest jump into new construction.
Yes.
And when it was done, it was like, no, I don't like doing that.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
Really?
That's great. Yeah, that's great. So cool.
So residential resale and
Yeah.
condo.
And condo,
About 20% of my business is condos.
Condos,
So 1 in 5.
interesting. Yeah. And how's that? Is that just evolved over the years, or was that you were making a specific point of trying to do more condo work?
It just naturally happened. However, part of my training years was learning the Condo Act
Right.
and even the pre-licensing, teaching stuff about condos,
Yep.
to the point where I felt I had a better than normal insight into the condominium concept.
Yeah.
And it just evolved from there.
Yeah.
I find a lot of people don't know a lot about condos. They know a little bit about condos.
Yeah.
And I can go through bylaws and declarations and stuff like that and show people, look, you can read the blah, blah, but please read this section about what, use and occupation of units.
Yeah.
And I can look at annual statements or financial statements and look for the key things. I was kind of taught that.
Yep.
But I have the confidence to use that word earlier. Once you get the confidence, I know what I'm doing with condos.
Totally.
When I can say to somebody, 1 in 5 of my transactions is a condominium, they say, oh, great, so you can help us. Yeah, sure can.
Yeah.
And they get it.
That's cool.
They get it. Yeah.
Maybe last question, and then we'll play some pool and chat a little bit. Tell me about how you handle the initial meeting with a buyer or a seller. Like, are you doing a formal listing presentation for sellers? Are you doing a formal buyer presentation for buyers? Anything like that?
Sure, that's kind of evolved too. I have in my car, and it's got dust all over it, a listing presentation manual.
Yes. Yeah.
And it was when we didn't have sales that happen on a 3-day holding offers.
Right.
It could still apply, but there were 3 pages in it that told about the seller about the process, what I do, and how it all works, and how I make the process stress-free.
Yep.
And I've stopped using it.
Okay.
Maybe I should be using it again, but I've stopped using it. I still get business.
Yeah.
I still lose the odd one.
Yeah.
But my initial meeting with a seller usually involves a little profile of me.
Yeah.
There's a folder. It's paper.
Yeah.
It's not on a laptop. It's not a binder.
Yeah.
And a little discussion about my services, my expertise, my knowledge of the particular area they're in, things like that.
Excellent. Yeah.
So it isn't, and then it's now let me measure your perimeter of your home because I have to do a market analysis valuation, which I'm not giving you a number today because it takes me a few hours to do that.
Right. Yeah.
So my first meeting with a seller is here's a little more about me. Here's what you can expect in terms of my services, all verbal.
Yep.
And then I'm going to do a market evaluation. And I find that at the point where I come back with my evaluation, they've either decided you're my man or you're not.
Yeah, fair enough.
And that's it.
Yeah, fair enough.
The buyers, I typically sit down with the buyer, even if they bought before, to run through closing costs. I have a table of closing costs.
Probably out of scar tissue from your own house. that you bought back in 1980, right? So so
exactly.
didn't
It's
explain
true.
that to you. So
It's amazing how many of them say, "Oh, I didn't know." Well, now's the time to know, not after I write an offer. Oh, by the way.
Yeah.
So the meeting with a buyer is more often a walk through the closing costs, discussion of financing, pre-qualifying.
Right.
Neat thing about walking through closing costs is it tells you what a lawyer does. It tells you what how taxes are done. It tells you what an appraisal's for. It's a very educational presentation for half an hour. That the buyer, when they leave the room, go, "Oh man, I didn't know all that stuff, and now I know it." There's not a lot there, but there's 10 or 12 points that they wouldn't necessarily have either known or not known in enough detail. And the closing costs review is how they get to that.
Amazing. That's great. Yeah, it's a great little framework to work off of, right? So
And then also with a buyer, I say, you know what? You can make a big list right now of what you want and don't want. I do want to know what areas. We have to decide on a price range. But I want to show you a few houses. Then it'll be very apparent what you want and don't want.
That's awesome.
So my first meeting with the buyer is usually to launch that, get things organized. Then we pick some houses and go look at them.
Great.
And then it's either within a week we buy or within a year we buy. But
that's great.
That's how I do it.
Cool. Yeah, very good. Okay, well, let's play some pool and we'll continue the conversation if that's okay with you.
That sounds good to me. I hope you're no good.
I'm on a losing streak right now, that's for sure. So right ahead.
So you want to see a really good break?
I want to see a spectacular break. I expect to lose here, by the way, Jim. So
Okay.
That's good. Very nice. All right.
Okay, you just clean it up there.
So tell me, Jim, I'm interested as well. We were talking about listing presentations, buyer presentations. Has anything changed in terms of like what you offer to people when it comes to listing their homes? I know people are now staging homes, they're doing photography, all this stuff, different kind of stuff. Like what has been added into what
professional photography seems to be expected now. That's
it's
for
a
sure.
table stakes kind of thing. Okay.
It seems to be expected. And they often ask about what are you going to do so that it's visible to the whole world.
Yes.
I said, as soon as it's on realtor.ca, it's visible to the whole world.
The whole world.
And of course they say, what about Viewpoint? I said, Viewpoint draws off of MLS just like Remax does and Royal LePage does and Century 21 does. So you're on all the sites.
Yeah, absolutely. That's great.
So I don't need to do anything different to expose your property to the whole world.
Yeah, it's so funny. Like Realtor.ca is such a gift for the Canadian real estate industry. Like 95% of basically every home sells through that, right? So why would you not go there if you're a consumer?
So there's a question always about how am I going to get exposure? And what about social media? I don't use social media. I bet you the odd one says, well, I want an agent that uses social media. But whenever I've used it through Royal LePage, we get 4,000 hits and not one call, not one showing.
Exactly.
So does it really work? I don't know. Doesn't. I don't need it.
It hasn't time to be done, that's for sure. So, it's still wide open for you, sir. Whatever you want.
See what I got here.
Whatever you like. So.
Might be able to get that in. You know I've got a bad left eye, right?
I do. Yeah.
So what happens when I do breaks like that and miss?
Yeah.
Oh,
close.
And that.
Yeah. All right, let's see if we can get things kicked off here. So, love it. So, Jim, you got a big family. What do you do with your spare time? How do you guys spend your spare time?
Well, the family's all. There we go.
There we go.
All right.
Yeah.
The family's all away.
Yep.
3 of them live in Calgary with my grands, and one lives in Toronto.
Yep. Oh no.
So we make travel once a year.
Do you?
So you're low. I'm high.
Yes, you're the eyeball there. Oh, nice. Very well done.
Yeah, see? Yeah, I was working that time.
Love it. Oh, you're on a roll. I like it.
Nope.
Did you ever have any thought of any of your kids going into the business? Did any of them ever sniff it or anything like that? Or no way?
One's a DJ.
That's right.
2 of them are engineers, and one's a doctor.
There
How's
you
that?
Go. There you go. That's quite the range. It's quite the range. So
Ow!
Oh no!
Robbed.
You can see why.
So no, so as far as spare time, not a ton with the family because they're all away.
Yeah,
we
they're
were
spread
there
out,
in
yeah.
Calgary in
Yep.
July, and
Yep.
a whole bunch of them are here this week and last week and next week.
That's cool.
But more of our spare time is what we do. We enjoy the beach. We
Yep.
enjoy a little bit of hiking, a little bit of walking.
Yeah.
Love a movie every couple nights.
You're a music guy too. I know
Yeah,
you are because
yeah.
I've been to your home a couple of times,
Yeah.
and you've got a heck of a collection.
A lot of music always playing in our house.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
And I build plastic models as a hobby, so
Interesting.
car models.
Yeah.
So I kind of get into that.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. Can you turn real estate off while you're doing that stuff? Is it hard to do? Are you
Yeah, I can turn it
those
off.
people who can compartmentalize your life that way?
Yeah.
Nice. Ooh, that
Ooh.
was bad luck there.
Yeah. See what I can do with that. Oh, there's one for you.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate
welcome.
that. Yes, I need all the help I can get here today. So yeah, it's great.
Yeah, I can turn real estate off.
Yeah.
Nice.
And what about what do you like? Do you read? Do you what do you do to like kind of sharpen your skills? Anything reading on the business side or
Not a
none
reader.
of that? Yeah.
Not a reader.
No? Okay.
My son gave me a book about the building of the railway from coast to coast
Yes.
because I like trains too.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm.
Oh no. Just
He
missed
said.
it.
I'm halfway through the book. I got it in December.
Okay. Love it.
How does that work?
Love it.
It's a tricky little shot. Oh. There, that's what I was doing.
Nice. Love it. Well, go ahead. Yeah. This is, I'm sure, a sensitive topic, but you're 45 years into your real estate career at this
Yeah.
point. Is there thought of stopping at some point?
I can see at least another 5 years.
Another 5 years? Okay, cool.
I can see that,
Yeah. It's one of those businesses that, that there is no need to really in a lot of ways, right?
Right.
So it's a great business that way. So
Yeah, I think another 5.
you bring a joy to it as well too. Like you seem to enjoy it. I
do.
know you deal with
Yeah.
I'm sure you deal with some challenges as you go on through your day,
Yeah.
but still,
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah.
That might get through there,
All right.
or might not.
Okay.
I thought I'd give you that.
I better start pulling up my socks here. Keep going. Yeah.
Nice. That's a hard shot.
Thank you. Ooh, I didn't do myself any favors here though.
I've got a hobby room in the basement, and there's 3 train sets and all the car models.
Yeah.
So when I go there, it's just sort of away from.
That's your thing.
Everything,
Yeah, absolutely. So that's great. And your wife, Julie, has she become a sort of de facto real estate agent now? Is she, does she resent the real estate talk when you're out with
No,
people
no,
or
no,
anything?
no.
She likes it?
She likes it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
She'll often say, I'll say, I saw a nice house today. She'll say, let me see.
Is that right?
And we'll
Oh,
pull-
good. So
we'll pull
she's
up the
interested.
pictures.
Yeah, she wants to know. So
Yeah.
it is one of those things that it's hard not to enjoy talking about, right? Like
That's right.
you go to a party and people are going to ask you about real estate. So
Well,
okay.
this might be your first victory. And
Well, in a little bit, you'll see. Some left to navigate here still. No! So one of the things I ask, and it's a hard question for some people to answer, have you made like one or two or anything like a mistake that you're like, geez, if I could have an eraser and go back and just erase that one,
Yeah.
or erase that decision, or I wish I hadn't done that.
yeah.
Can you think of anything that you would redo? I guess.
The only thing that comes to mind with that question is
Yeah.
one time I was involved in a relocation property.
Yeah.
And I called the relocation company instead of calling the seller with a question.
Okay.
I called the seller back and said, I just spoke to the relocation company. And before I even finished the sentence, that client said, you did what?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I thought, from that day on, I remember, think before you make a call that's got to do with, maybe various parties, even if it's
Yeah.
a husband and wife or
Yeah.
a mom and dad that are involved in the sale. Think of who to call first.
Interesting. Yeah,
Isn't that a weird thing?
It's such a small
I
thing.
remember
but
how
yeah.
badly and stupid I felt
Yeah,
that time
yeah,
when I did that.
yeah.
And that client was super upset.
Yeah. And so when was that? How long ago was that?
90s.
And that stuck with you
Yes,
until
sir.
this point.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's
yeah.
incredible. Yeah. Well, it's a great lesson too.
I know. It's just a simple thing, but there's a certain priority and a certain correct and incorrect
Yep.
sequence with which to make contacts.
Yep.
Just
That's
think
it.
about that.
Yeah. So such a small
Weird
little thing, but you're serving someone in that respect, right? And so if they
Yeah.
feel like they've been gone around, then they're not going to love that.
That's right.
Yeah. Cool.
You did what?
It's a good one. Yeah. Oh, nice. Nicely
Wow.
done.
Well, now I'll scratch this. This is a perfect
It's a
scratch.
trick. Yeah, I was just gonna say it's set up for
perfect scratch.
Yeah. Yes, I usually get you did what from my wife, not from people professionally. So doesn't feel
There,
good
I didn't
either way.
scratch.
No, yeah, you're in pretty good shape here too. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Squeeze them all the way around there.
Nice.
Keep going. Nah, I didn't get all the way there. Okay. Let's see if we can go over there. Nope. Didn't catch enough of it.
Oh dear.
Oh no!
I might get that.
I think you're going to get that one, Jim. Awesome. A real pleasure, my friend. It was great. Yeah, thank you. That was perfect.
Good game.
And it's nice to, there's no one I'd rather lose a game of pool to. So thanks, Jim.
All right.
Appreciate it.